Hi, this is Colleen McGee with another episode of Fort Riley, the podcast. Today, we're talking Fort Riley Tax Assistance Center. You got it. Elizabeth Thurston, the director of the Fort Riley Tax Assistance Center, talks to us about the offerings, eligibility, and the new operating procedures for this tax season.
So the services that we provide are we're going to be doing federal and state tax return. We'll do federal and state returns for 3 years, 2018, 19, and 20. And then we'll also be able to do your state return as a courtesy when we do your federal return. The people who are eligible, our center provides services to active duty service members, their eligible dependents, retirees, and any reservist who's on activated orders for 30 days or more. I think the main difference this year is that we're going to try to operate as a drop-off service. We're trying to minimize the amount of time that we are with the client, and so we're going to do what's called a drop-off service. The soldier will come in, drop off his document. We will then have the opportunity to prepare the return, and after 3 days, we'll call them back, have them come back in, and at that point they'll be able to review the return, sign it, and that will minimize the amount of time that they're in the office for drop-off. We anticipate that being no more than 10-15 minutes, and the same goes for when they come back in to sign and review their return. We anticipate them in the office for another 10 to 15 minutes at most. So we will be asking for a valid telephone number where we can call them and ask questions if we have any. We'll also be able to contact them via email if they leave us an email address. So there's two means of communication in which we'll ask that they leave so that we can have that contact with them.
First Lieutenant Brittany Simon, the officer in charge of the Fort Riley Tax Center, gives us information about deadlines for services.
This year it closes on 15 April. It's my understanding in past years, soldiers were able to go to the legal administrator's office to have their taxes filed. But however, this year, when we close our doors on 15 April, that will be it. So our hours of operation are 0900 to 1800. However, we would take the last drop-ins at 1730 to give us proper time to go over the paperwork. We will be closed on all training holidays and federal holidays. And we are located, building 7034.
No, we will not be accepting any appointments. So we will not be making appointments for soldiers. We're going to be strictly drop-off service. We will have limited capacity. Currently, the way we have set up the lobby is we've put chairs 6 feet apart, and so we only have access for 8 or 9 clients at a time. So we'll have people coming in. But again, if you have to wait outside, it won't be for longer than 10 or 15 minutes. So it'll be one in, one out when we're busy. When we actually call you back to come in to sign, you'll be able to meet with the tax preparer at that point if you have any additional questions or when you review your return. At that point, you'll be behind closed doors in an office with plexiglass and all of the COVID-19 safety measures put in place.
The cost savings is just one of the major factors when it comes to filing your returns. But Lieutenant Simmons also explains another benefit.
The services are completely free. Free. We do not charge anything to our service members. Sure, and one thing I would like to mention, if you come to us and we prepare your taxes and the IRS gets in contact with you, we will stand behind our taxes that we prepared and we will help you through whatever the IRS is asking of you. But only if you come to us and we do your tax services.
All tax returns are prepared by, like I said, a tax preparer. However, I do want to emphasize that every tax return that is prepared by the Fort Riley Tax Center is quality reviewed by either an attorney or a CPA. So nothing leaves our office without it having a second set of eyes by a tax professional before we send it to the IRS. Our margin of error here at the Fort Riley Tax Center is very low. So we've been operating for over 20 years now, longer than I've been here, so I know it's been longer than 20 years. And every year we prepare over 8,000 federal and state returns, saving soldiers, million, I think last year was 1.7 million is what our savings were. I think the main benefit, as Lieutenant Simon said, is, we will stand behind every return. So should you get a letter from the IRS questioning your return or adjusting your return, you just have to come back to the legal assistance office and we will, deal with the IRS on your behalf. But that's only if we prepare your return. Also, it's completely free, and that's a great way for soldiers to maximize their refund. Yeah, the Fort Riley Tax Center number is 785-239-1040. And once again, we're at Building 7034. That's at the corner of Normandy and Bullard.
Well, thank you for tuning in. The Tax Center is open. Make your appointment today.